standing yoga poses are the closed and open hip, the warrior ones, warrior twos. Then we have the balancing poses, and we also have the forward folds. So for standing forward folds, we will first review the Tadasana pose, mountain pose, because this is the base for all forward folds. So step the feet hip width apart or together if you've been practicing yoga for a long time. Lift the toes and then slowly release them back down, activating the arches. Then gently micro bend the knee, just a little, so the quads will engage, and then grow tall from the spine. You can bring your hands on the hips. Make sure your pelvis is in a neutral position, not tilting forward or tilting back. Grow tall in the spine. Imagine someone's pulling you by the crown of the head. And feel the legs super strong with the arch engagement, with the micro bend knee. The whole lower base is strong. Great. Finally, relax the shoulders. Bring the lower ribs in, but keep elongating in the spine. We will keep this lower half of Tadasana mountain pose for all forward folds in standing. So keep that engagement of the legs. And then when we start bending forward, let's practice bending just halfway. First, I want you to bend the knees even more than you normally do when you go into the forward fold. Bring your hands to the hips and then start hinging from the hip joint. So don't bring any movement into the lower back. Keep the lower back perfectly straight as you keep bending, bending, bending until you come parallel to the ground. Now, go through your checklist. Check your feet, check your knees, quads active. Keep sending the sit bones backwards and the head forwards. Make the spine as long as possible. Bring the lower ribs in. You can press the hands into the thighs to elongate the spine even more. Good. Inhale. And exhale, press into the feet to come up. All right, let's bring it all the way down this time. Still keep your hands on the hips. Bend in the knees. And again, with your hands, you can actually really feel that you're bending from the hips and keeping the lower back straight. Bend slowly, slowly. And if you're already reaching far down, but your lower back started rounding, then stay there, back off a little bit, check your posture, and then bend the knees more. So as you continue bending down, you bring the belly to the thighs. So for some of us, we might be all the way down here to make that comfortable. Lower back perfectly straight, but now the upper back and the head can round. And release towards the ground. Finally, you can release the hands. Check that connection between the thighs and the belly, and keep sending the sit bones up this time. Feel so much space in the lower back when we bend this way. Take a few deep breaths there, and while you are down there, check on your feet. Make sure the active arches are still there. You're pressing into all parts of the foot and the toes are spread. Good. Bring your hands back to the hips. Elongate the spine forward, 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 and then slowly start lifting up and all the way to standing. This is our closed leg forward fold. Let's do our open leg forward fold. Step the feet 3 to 4 feet wide and press into the outer edges of the feet equally. Really activate the arches again. Check that the knees are in line with the ankles and the hip is in that same line as well. So you might need to shift your hips a little backwards. Keep pressing into the feet. And finally, check that you're pressing into both feet evenly. Maybe you can close your eyes and see if that feels right. Right, and as we come down, we'll follow the same principle. We'll bend the knees gently, bring the hands to the hips so you can feel that when you start bending, you are really bending from the hips, not from the lower back. Come just halfway and check there that you're pressing into the outer edges of the feet firmly and strongly. Check that the knees didn't fall in but are still nice and active. And then you can start bending further down. When you feel you've reached your limit or there's too much stretch going on in the hamstrings, bring the hands down. Keep elongating the spine, lifting the sit bones back behind you as you fold deeper in. If you're coming all the way down, bring the elbows or the hands in line with the feet, and you can bring the head in the same line as well. To come up, come halfway up first, press into the outer edges of the feet again. Make sure the whole leg is active. Then bring the hands to the hips, press into the feet, and come all the way up. To come out of the pose, heel toe, the legs forward. And you can move on with your yoga practice. Use these alignment points. Use these alignment points in all your standing forward folds.